Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing kind of an Egyptian goddess kind of look. I actually filmed this video 3 times before I ended up with this look, so this is something just kind of out of my pocket. So the first thing I'm going to do is use a precision brush in the shade Serious from the Gwen Stafani Urban Decay palette. And I'm just going to kind of map out a new crease for myself. I kind of wing it out there towards the outer point of my eye because it is going to kind of flick out. But I basically just use that shade and kind of build in some depth there. I will continue to reshape it to make sure that it is a pretty harsh line. And then I'm just going to use a blending brush to kind of blend some of that color up. And then I go back to the precision brush to kind of deepen that color. I do use the black shade from this palette just a little bit on the outer corner to give it a little bit more depth and that precision, but I will clean it up with concealer in a second. So now I'm going to use a synthetic brush and a concealer. Today I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. This is the lightest shade. And I'm just going to take that. It is a pretty fine brush, so I'm able to kind of define where I want that crease to actually be. So I'm just going up and creating that pretty precise line and then blending it down. And once that is laid down, I'm going to use that same precision brush that we used earlier, just cleaned off, and I'm actually going to take the gold shade from the 35F palette from Morphe. It is a pretty metallic color with great payoff, but it does have to be patted down to get that really nice metallic look. So that's why I'm using the smaller brush and just patting on that color. Now, what I like to do is do half of the shadow first. So I do everything that's towards that first line that we made, that crease line. And then I go in with my eyeliner, do my big wing, and then come back and do in that precise fill-in. That way I don't have any fallout over the liner, and I don't have the liner going over the shadow, which sometimes can cause it to flake or just set very weird. So I do my liner first, and then I come back down and precisely place that gold shadow. Now, for the geometric shapes in this eye look, I take the same eyeliner and I just kind of map out what I want to do with the liner. Now, you can see I'm using that Gwen Stefani palette as my mirror. I'm just taking a very steady hand and drawing out what I want it to be before I make the move and actually fill it in. Once that is mapped out, I just start to go in on the outer tail there, and I really create that kind of flicked out wing, just like the actual wing on my eye. This is something that I kind of decided to do last minute, but I really like how it contrasted with the actual wing on my eye. I take that liner all the way in towards my nose, but I just make sure that it's kind of feathered out a little bit more and blended. And now for my foundation, I am taking the DiorSkin Forever foundation in number 20, and I'm just putting that all over my face and then blending it out with a Real Technique sponge. Once that is blended down my neck, I go ahead and take the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer in pink, and I put that underneath my eye and on those high points of my face, like my forehead, the bridge of my nose, above my cupid's bow, and then on my chin, and I even take it a little bit on my cheeks, kind of below where my contour will go. And now for my contour, I'm going to actually take the shade 626 from Makeup Forever. It's a matte shadow. It's actually an eyeshadow, but I really love the formula for my cheeks. And then I'm just using an IT Cosmetics brush. This is from the Velvet Luxe line, and it's actually a foundation brush, but I like how it builds my contour, so I use that for my contour. I have pretty nice cheeks regularly, but I like to kind of carve them out and make sure that they look pretty precise. So I kind of follow the natural curve of my face for my cheeks, bring it up my temple, bring it across my forehead, and then down on my chin as well, and make sure that is really blended out. Once that is done, I go ahead and take a small blending brush and I use the same shade and I start to contour my nose. So I kind of start underneath the start of my brow, bring it down on the bridge of my nose, and then make sure that it's blended out on the sides, but still leaving this center pretty nice and precise. Once that is all added, then I just take kind of a fluffy powder brush and kind of diffuse that color. And then when I use powder contour like this, I actually take my damp beauty blender and make sure that I kind of shear down that coverage. And now onto my highlight. I'm going to take the NYX Glitter Primer and put that on a beauty blender and then apply it to my cheeks. And then I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped with the shade Summer and kind of putting that onto my cheeks. This kind of has a like pearl kind of white finish to it, but it does have a nice kind of glow color that kind of goes with the gold. And then over that, I'm going to put the Urban Decay Naked Luminous Skin Highlighter in Luminous, because I like that glitter look. And now for my brows, I'm actually going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Granite, and I'm just going to kind of map out the shape for my brows. At the kind of start at the tail of my brow, I pluck those hairs for when I'm in a normal boy look for my daily look. But when I do makeup like this, I like to have it nice and arched, so I could just go ahead and map out that arch. And then I take the number 15 brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a very nice precision angled brush. And I take my pomade in dark brown and I just kind of fill in all of those blank spots to give it some added color. After I do that, I go ahead and use my spoolie to make sure that it is blended out and everything is nice and blended. And now for lips, I'm going to use Jeffree Star's Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Leo. This is a pretty red, kind of brick red, nude brown, but I'm actually going to lay gold shadow over it, but I wanted to have a really nice base. So I'm using this because it's very neutral. And then I'm going to use the same concealer I used on my eyes, which is the Makeup Forever HD in the lightest shade, and that same synthetic brush, and clean up and make sure that everything is very nice and precise. Once that is done, I go ahead and go back and add just a little bit of black shadow underneath my eye, as well as the same brown that we used, which was Serious from that Urban Decay palette. I did go ahead and apply mascara and lashes, and now I'm adding that gold shadow, same as what we used on my eye, and I'm just using a blending brush to add that on. I think it gives a nice touch to this look, and it kind of makes it look very nice and Egyptian-like. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for coming back and watching. Make sure to give it a like and a comment and a subscribe and a share and all of that stuff. Make sure to follow me on all my social media, which is Brandon Bell Beauty, which you can see right below.